Well, a very good and warm welcome to you who are tuning in to the Lockdown TV Season 3. We are back once again and we are profiling another prolific baby SPAR Proteas player. Today, we are in conversation with Nicci Oosthuizen, the youngest ever player in the history of South African netball to be called up to be part of the national team, the under-21 in particular. Man, welcome, Nicci. Firstly, congratulations. That is huge.
Thanks, Mbali. I really appreciate it.
Well, how have you been? Because I'm sure you're itching to just get back onto the court.
Yeah, so I've been training. Obviously not court training, but I've been doing my fitness and gym work and so. And then I actually saw a while ago, this morning, I saw Netball, as I posted a Instagram post about Netball can go on now. So I'm super excited, and you know what, I really just want the opportunity to enjoy my last year of school netball.
Yeah. And of course, we know the Telkom Netball League as well is coming up. So I know like all the netball players are just they're itching to just get back onto the court. And considering that also major events were also cancelled for the under-21. So it will be great to see you guys back on the court. So Nicci, we have an icebreaker before we get into all the important stuff. I don't know if you've seen any of the episodes of Lockdown TV. So we always start.
No, actually not.
So you are going into unfamiliar territory today. Okay. So we always start with an icebreaker, okay? Because you know this show is very casual. Okay. We want to know who these professional players are behind the court. Who are you behind outside of netball? We want to know the crazy stuff. We want to know if you walk around with socks and holes in your clothes and all of that thing. This is how people relate to you, right? So this is really why I love the show, because it's so casual. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock. You have 1 minute to answer all these questions. And
it's pressure already.
Okay, stopwatch. Wait, 1 minute. On the clock, starts. Okay, wait. Oh gosh, it's no, wrong one. Okay, there we go. 1 minute starts now. Okay, favorite meal?
Sushi.
Favorite drink?
Coffee.
Favorite TV show or movie?
I think I have to go with 6 Underground. It's a movie.
Favorite song?
At the moment, Waves of Blue by, I think it's Majid Jordan.
Favorite book?
I think my school books at the moment.
Okay. Favorite holiday, place, destination?
Just our typical December holidays with the family in Stilbaai.
Favorite player or role model?
This is difficult, but Laura Guides.
None of you have finished this within 1 minute. There's always like 2 or 3 questions left.
Oh, no, it was so fun.
Okay, let's just finish up because you had like 1 more question left. Yeah. Favorite quote?
I have to go with Psalm 73, verse 26. Okay. And it says that my flesh and heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart.
Wow. That is beautiful. So you're a spiritual person. Like church is a very important part of your life.
It is, and I can't even begin to describe that my strength and everything that's been happening to me, and good or bad, it just comes from God, and I'm so grateful for it.
Wow, that's beautiful. So in terms of your spiritual walk and and having your deep sense of faith, is that something that was introduced to you as a child? Is that something that you were born into, or is that something that you picked up now as you got older on your own accord?
My whole family were very spiritual, as you call it, and we like to get together on a Sunday and go to church in the morning, and some Sundays afternoon we eat as a family together and just enjoy the presence of God together. So I was definitely born into it, but you know, as one gets older and you get more mature, you take your own journey with God also.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
no.
I can definitely relate. When I grew up, nobody was allowed to stay at home. You're not allowed to skip church. Even if you're sick, you'll drag yourself to church.
Yeah. Yeah, and now it's online church.
Yeah. But even online, we actually don't skip a service. So we will wake up and watch the 9 o'clock service as if we were going to church. So I can definitely relate to just having that deep sense of faith and that spirituality that was embedded in you from a young age. So speaking of, young age and growing up, we really want to know about you and your background and how home life was. And basically, when were you first introduced to netball? Was it primary school, grade 1? Did you pick it up later on? Just take us back to where it all began.
Yeah, so I grew up in Centurion. I was in laerskool en op SPAR, a very Afrikaans primary school. And I loved sports all my whole life, and I still love it to the day, and I can't imagine my life without sports. So I was trying out everything. I went to athletics, to swimming, to netball. And I think netball really just spoke to me in a way. And I enjoyed it so much at that point. Because, little kids, and it's primary school, and you go to little tournaments each weekend, and it's just the fun vibe of the netball in primary school that really lit the fire for me. So yeah, my journey started really young, and I'm very grateful that I got introduced to netball at such a young age.
And what are some of those tournaments that you were part of in primary schools that just pop up and stand out for you?
I think we went to SIs in grade 7, and it was in George. So that was really fun. I think that's the furthest we traveled for netball in primary school. So it was fun. And we also went to a lot of netball camps, like Tannie Elise Kotze's netball camp, Raloka. We always went there once a year. And I must say the most memories come from those camps.
And at what point were you playing a different position in primary school to the position that you're playing now?
I played goal defense and goal attack for a while, and then I went to wing attack center. But my last year in primary school, grade 7, I played goal attack again.
So what's your favorite position? Because it sounds like you played almost everything.
I think goal defense, but I don't play it anymore. Yeah. But center, I love center.
And I know centers need to be very, very fit because you're literally running down that court. So did you have the same team? Did you grow with the same team from as you progressed in primary school until grade 7? Did you have like the same core team?
Yeah, we had the same team every year. So it was very fun, and we really knew each other quite well at that stage in grade 7. So every year we just built on the previous year.
Ah, and so how was it then when you had to then transition to grade 8, high school? How different was it?
For me, change is good.
Yeah.
So it wasn't difficult to get the feeling of a new team and get to know new people. For me, it's always fun to have a little bit of a change, and it was a challenge. You know, it's a challenge to go into a new school in high school, and you see all these kids, and all of them go to netball trials. So it's quite a challenge, but I love change. So for me, it was fun, and yeah, so I enjoyed also every moment of that.
Did you go with any of your friends from primary school, or were you like the only one who went to that high school?
No, I was the only one that went to that high school, yeah.
Sure, that must have been nerve-wracking. So tell me about then, you find yourself in the team, grade 8. How were those trials? Because you said that you get to a new school, everybody's trialing for the netball team. Everybody wants to break into that netball team. How was it? Tell us, just go through that journey.
Yeah, so obviously you see all these kids, and they all look very talented, and they all come from different primary schools, and you don't know them. Some come from far, some you know. And I think in our school we have like 6 netball teams in each age category, so it's a lot. So there were a few rounds of trials. I think there were actually like 5 or 6 rounds of trials. And then every time you just wait for your name to be on the list you wish your name would be on. And the whole thing was so nerve-wracking. And I remember my mom, the day when we got the teams, I got in the car and she was like, and I told her what team I got, and I remember she started to cry actually. Because this whole process of trials and new school and everything, I think got to her more than it got to me.
Wait, are you an only child, or do you have siblings?
I have 2 younger siblings. I have a brother, he's now grade 8, and I have a sister, she's grade 6.
Ah, so you're the firstborn. Okay.
Yeah,
so your mom is like she's like breaking all these emotions and breaking bread with you. I think by the time she gets to your sister, she would have gone through all the emotions with you and your brother that I don't think there'll be anything left.
Oh yeah, shame. And my sister, she's a very light, and she just goes with the flow. So I think my mom wouldn't struggle with her.
And are you guys like a competitive family? Like, does your brother also play sports and your sister as well?
They do. They play sports. But I wouldn't say we are competitive and competitive to each other. I wouldn't say that at all. We all have very different personalities. And our interests also differs. And I think my interest is sport. And I want to pursue that in the future. And I think that they're also little and they're small, so I don't think they can make big decisions at that young age.
So you are in grade 11 now.
I'm matric this year.
Matric this year.
Yeah.
You're almost there. The year's
I
almost
know.
done. The year's almost
It's scary.
done.
It's going so fast.
So when did you then get selected for SA under 21? You were in grade 11, right?
Yes, that's the first time I was in the squad, and we played the TNL last year in Bloemfontein.
So tell me that journey, because now I want to now dig into that, because now you are this growing netball player. You're growing into your space, you're growing into your position, you're growing in confidence, and even your body's growing as well, because you know you're getting into high school, your body's becoming stronger, you're becoming taller, and you're becoming more confident, and you know, and building relationships. How do you find yourself being selected for SA under 21? I am so intrigued as to how all of that happened for you, especially being the youngest player. So that is a very heavy title to carry.
I am so grateful for everything that happened from the moment that I heard that it's a possibility. And I can't even describe how yes, grateful I am for the whole experience and be able to get the exposure that I did at such a young age.
Yeah.
So last year it was lockdown, and I was just casually at home. We were on the farm at that point, and I got an message from Coach Alsha, and she actually asked me. She was like, "What are you doing these days?" And yeah, she was just like a conversation about just normal casual stuff, and I was so freaked out. I was like, what am I gonna do? This emotions inside of me. And I remember that she invited me then to the first training camp. And I was so nervous. I was like freaking out on the inside, and I was scared to go into waters that I didn't have a clue about what is gonna happen. And yeah, just like the whole time, I just reminded myself that my strength doesn't come from me, and that really grounded me for the whole experience. So after the training camp, we heard the squad for the TNL team, and when my name was called for the TNL team, or the squad, I couldn't believe it. Like, you can just imagine, I was sitting there, my name was called, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening to me. And you know what, it's a dream that I had since I was little. And I'm so grateful for the people who made that dream come true. And so from there, it was really just making new friendships and working harder from there, and just being able to experience the stuff that actually goes into professional South African netball.
So how are you now balancing that? Because, you know, with a lot of the baby SPAR Proteas players in varsity, and you're still in high school, and you still play for your high school team. You have to train, I'm sure, with the under 21. You still have school, it's an important year. How do you balance all of that? How was your daily timetable?
So I'm actually a person that don't really plan too far ahead. Okay. I'm very, I don't like to get myself worked up about all the things that needs to be done. So I think I just take it day for day. and just try to get everything in balance, my schoolwork, my netball, and my personal life. And just, I think the balance is the key, and also to not plan too far ahead, because sometimes things doesn't work out your way. And then you can actually be really put off by it. So I think a day-to-day schedule is working for me at this point.
So are you still playing sports right now at your school in terms of lockdown? Are you still training? How is that working, or is it just school books?
So our netball team, before the lockdown, before the short lockdown, we actually trained as a team, and we also participated in club netball. And so we were practicing, and everything was on track. And then when lockdown came, our coach at the high school told us that it's now our responsibility to make our own times for exercising in this lockdown time, because we can't practice as a team anymore. So it was our own responsibility to keep our fitness up and go to the gym. And, you know, if you wanted to rest 2 days, that's also fine. So when school started yesterday, we obviously didn't know what's going to happen. Are we still going to play games this year? So I think we're just waiting for confirmation about that. And then also now with the announcement that netball can go on, I think we will soon be starting to train as a team again.
Okay, so in matric now, what would you say has been one of your fondest memories in your netball journey in high school in particular? Is there a game that stands out for you where you're like, we beat that rival school, or that was my best performance, or I had the best, block or defense or attack, all of that? Like, which game for you stands out? What would you say is your best memory of netball in high school?
If you ask me that question, so many games pop up and so many moments pop up. But if I have to choose just one, I think it was in 2019. We went to the SI Champs, the final tournament of the year, and we've trained very hard that year. It was our goal to win the SI Champs, so we trained really hard and we put in the work. And finals, and we were playing against a school that that year they were our toughest components. And the previous time we played them, we actually lost. So we were mentally ready for the game, and it was a semi-final. You know, it's a make or break. So we played the game, and I just remember everything just fell into place, and we just played the game, and we enjoyed it so much. And I remember it was very cold that day. It was like in July, and we just played the game. And I remember when the game ended and we won, my coach, I just remember my coach's facial expression for being so proud of us. And the timing and the place and the people was just right at the right timing.
Oh man, that's beautiful. So
yeah, I wish I could relive that game. I wish.
So with everything that we've spoke about and everything you've shared, what is the one thing that you spoke about your role model? What is it about her that resonates with you so much? Why do you feel so connected to her?
I think at that moment I was just under pressure and I said Laura Geitz.
Okay, who's a real role model?
But if I think about it,
Yeah,
she is a great role model for young netball players and netball players in common. I remember when I played, they'd say there's a school game that's coming up or a big game that's coming up and I need a little bit of motivation. I would watch Laura Geitz highlights on YouTube, and I just remember like getting goosebumps. She had amazing intercepts, and I think if you look at her now, she's retired from netball and she's commentating a few, and she also started a family.
Yeah.
Which I think is great, and she has lovely children. I follow on Instagram, so I keep an eye on her. But yeah, I think the days that she played netball, she did a really good job, and I think everyone can learn something from her, whether you are defense or attack. I think you can learn from her.
Yeah. And of course, in every journey, in every story, there's always highs and lows. Hey, so your high is your SA champs, right? Is also being selected as part of the SA under 21. But what are some of those lows that you went through in terms of netball, just your journey, the hardships, and that moment where you're even like, you know what, God, I need you to help me with this because I'm having difficulties.
Yeah, so I've been very blessed with my netball journeys thus far, but I must say one thing that really stood out for me as a difficulty or challenge that I went through was in grade 9. I at practice with this one day, I tore my ligaments and I fractured my ankle bone. And I remember grade 9 was also a very big year for me because I got selected for the first team in our school. So I was very excited. And when that happened, I just felt my heart just sank and I couldn't believe it's happening. And at first I actually thought, okay, now I don't have to worry, I won't be out for too long. But when I got the x-rays and I went to doctors and physios for their opinions, I actually realized that it's quite serious. And I didn't know if my recovery would be so quick to be able to play netball again that year. So I was in a moon boot and I had crutches for about 4.5 months.
Sure.
So it was very long. Yeah, it was very long. And I remembered I was so emotionally drained because I went to practice every day and I did my recovery next to the field, and I just remember I wished that I could play and go onto courts. And in that year I really realized that we can't take anything for granted. We can't take our healthy and able bodies for granted. And when you have it, you just go on with your life. And when something happens, you actually realize that, wow, it has such a big impact on you and on your emotional state. So I did recovery and I was able to play at the SAs again that year, but I only played one match, which I was fine with. I was just happy
You
I could
just wanted
play.
to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember it was very difficult for me to trust my body again, you know, because I was very scared that something's gonna happen again, and yeah, it was very difficult for me to overcome that step of um, trusting my body again.
Yeah. So finally, if you had a message for a young girl who's watching this and is so inspired by your story, and she's like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it, what would it be?
I think it's so easy for young netball players in South Africa to be um, modeled into something that you don't want to be, or someone that you don't want to be. So I think the most important is to just be you, and um, just be you and know where your strength comes from. And I think what's also key is to never believe that you made it, and never stop working hard, and just keep on putting that hard work in. And I think always just keep on looking for more opportunities, and don't ever think, okay, you know what, I can sit back and relax. I've done my part. Just keep on working hard, and yeah, be you, be authentic to yourself.
I love authenticity. And before we wrap, one word that best describes you. One word.
Adventurous.
And on that note, thank you so much, Nicci. Oh, I had so much fun chatting to you and just getting to know you. And I'm sure everybody who's going to be watching this is also very happy and very excited about your journey as well and what awaits you. I can't wait. I want to see where you go. I want to root for you, and I can't wait to see you in the TNL. So thank you so much, Nicci. It was an absolute pleasure chilling with you today.
Thank you so much for your time, and I also enjoyed it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.